Morning, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Hitch Hiking Yeti here. Today's vlog, we are going to be doing some more back road, off the beaten path type videos, do some small towns here, and kind of the central part of the state of South Carolina. Because that was pretty rad. I got here in the little town of Ridgeway, and that is the first town we are going to check out today. Look at some of the buildings here. I've heard and seen great things about this place. It's going to be awesome. This is one of these old southern towns. It's very quiet here, but it has some really cool history to it. And what drew me to this town was supposedly it has one of the world's smallest police stations. So I just thought, heck yeah, let's just start off there, and then we're going to go from there and see what else we can see here. Just about 25 miles to the north of Columbia, South Carolina. Should be a good day for now. There is some bad weather coming this way, so I got about 4 hours to see what I want to see and get out of here and travel back to North Carolina. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Let's go ahead and get started. So when I arrived, obviously there was a train passing through town here, and Ridgeway grew thanks to the Columbian and Camden Railroad, which made it an important stop for trade and travelers in the late 1800s. And I just couldn't help but show this house right over here. Just the banisters, the second level especially. Very interesting architecture, very old South. Pretty cool. But this here is South Palmer Street as we're going to walk down through the middle part of town of Ridgeway. I tell you, that old water tower up there and these buildings here on Palmer Street is pretty cool. Historic Ridgeway, established in 1799. And I read online that this is probably one of the smallest towns in South Carolina as far as population goes. Only about 255 people calls Ridgeway home. So right here we have an antique store. And that's one thing that Ridgeway is supposedly known for, is its antique shops, art galleries, and annual festivals that draw visitors from across the region, including Pig on the Ridge, which is a big barbecue festival here in town. I was standing here showing you this antique shop right here on Palmer Street in downtown Ridgeway, and look at this relic right here over my shoulder. Yes, folks, that is a payphone. Not just a payphone that I've shown those here on the channel many times, but this is an actual walk-in payphone. Are you kidding me? These still exist somewhere? I cannot believe it. Oh my God. Look at this right here. Look at that. Now the phone book has long been removed, or the attachment right there's where the phone book would probably sit. So I guess the big question is, does it still work? And that would be a no. No dial tone, but still nonetheless, that is pretty awesome that they still have this relic. This here could definitely be in a museum. You do not see these anymore. That's for sure. A real live phone booth here in Ridgeway. Now that's what you call frozen in time right there. Okay, now I've made my way over here to the old police station. Look at that. Look at the date up there, 1940 to 1990. And this is now, I guess, a welcome center here in town. But this right here is kind of cool because this could be the world's smallest police department. Now, just to give you a little bit of backstory about this, before it functioned as a police station, the little building at the heart of Ridgeway, which it is right here in the town area as I look to the right and left, it was used as the town well, used by cotton farmers bringing wagons and mules for water right here. And how it used to work, if you walk around the back side of it, I read, there's a little trough on the back side. And that's where it would have its water, and the animals could just come right up here and drink. So this was not always a police department, because in 1940 is when it was actually converted. As far as the Works Progress Administration project, the well was covered up and a small building was repurposed into the town's police station. The building is so small, commonly cited as a 10 by 12, that it's been dubbed the world's smallest police station. So there we got us a little bit of information about the police station here in Ridgeway. Okay, the door was open. This is a welcome center now, so I walked inside. This here's what the inside of the police station actually looks like. Kind of give you an idea. Look at this old relic right here, this typewriter, old telephone. It's like something, I almost said Andy Griffith, but their telephone was even older than that, wasn't it? But I guess how it used to work, maybe back here in the very back of it is where the well was located, but it's long been covered up. But yeah, this is it. Historic Ridgeway, get you a little bit of information about the town. They got some old photos right here from back in the day. And that right there might be the old well itself. The building was originally a well house. There it is in 1890. Man. But that there is what it used to look like before it was repurposed in 1940 and become this police station. That is pretty awesome. Really cool. Okay, so right here next to the Welcome Center / world's smallest police department, have a few monuments out here for the town. It just gives you an idea when Ridgeway was settled, 1799 or before 1799. But right here is a monument for the Pig on the Ridge, which is the barbecue festival I told you about earlier. And this is the largest cook-off barbecue festival in the state of South Carolina. It's a big deal. It's not every day you can just kind of stand in the middle of the road and not worry about traffic too much. But here in Ridgeway, you can definitely pull it off. But look at this relic. This here is called Ruff & Company Hardware Store. And it's been here a minute. It's been around since 1840, as you can read right here on this sign. Look at that. It's very faded. They need to touch that up a little bit. All their sign is very faded here on this old rustic storefront. But it's still open, it looks like. I mean, it's not today while I'm here, but yeah, they still have their hours posted right here. They're closed on Sundays and Mondays. But yeah, they are definitely still in business. If we can look inside, kind of give you an idea what they got in there. Look at that. Dang. 1840 and still in business. That is pretty impressive. And look at right here across the road here, we got the Ridgeway Town Hall. And that's an epic looking structure too. A few storefronts down from the hardware store is this place. I see where they used to have a sign up there, but this place here looks very abandoned, closed. I don't know if this is still open or not. I don't really see any kind of signage on the front of this building. It just says exclusive right there on the window. But I think a lot of these other stores across the street, like Ridgeway Marketplace right there, I believe they're still open, just not today. Okay, so I made my way down the street a bit, and this right here is called the Thomas Company, and there's quite a bit of history along with this building because it was built in 1904, and this is the oldest continuously operating general store in the great state of South Carolina. Okay, so right across the street from the Thomas Company is this building. And the architecture on this building doesn't look like anything else I've seen here in the town area. And this is an antique store, the Ridgeway Antique Shop right now. But I think originally this was probably a bank. And the main reason I say that is because when you look right here in this little drive, looks like right down there was the teller window at one time. Right down there. I bet you money back in the day this right here was the bank, and they closed it down and now it's an antique store. But has a very interesting front fascia of the building that doesn't really look like anything else here in the town of Ridgeway that I've seen. Okay, I think that's going to pretty much do it for Ridgeway, South Carolina. Let's get on the back roads and drive to our next stop, check out another small town. This was a really good stop though, man. I'm glad I stopped here in Ridgeway. It was really a lot of fun. So as we departed the town of Ridgeway, I'm on to my next town, which I've been on the road about 9 miles now. And this is the town of Winnsboro. And I just wanted to stop here because this is the South Carolina Railroad Museum. And it says, y'all aboard. And look at all this great stuff that they have here to view if you are a railroad train enthusiast. So the South Carolina Railroad Museum, located right here, was established in 1973. And look at this awesome locomotive they have right here. Now my love for trains goes back quite a way. Back in my childhood, just share a quick little story with you. On my dad's side of the family, they had a sawmill, woodworking mill where they used to make like furniture legs and things like that, bedpost. That was kind of what they did there. And there used to be a train that buzzed down through there. This was like in the Stony Point, Hiddenite, Taylorsville area in North Carolina. If you've ever heard of any of those places, they're very small towns and very desolate today because all these mills have been closed down for years now. But the thing I used to like to do, which would probably be frowned upon today, is I used to like to go out there to the railroad track before the train comes, lay a penny down, and the big heavy train would come through and smash it and make it kind of a long shape, like an egg shape, but really, really flat and smooth. And I did that several times. I always got a big kick out of that, but since they don't make pennies anymore, that might be frowned upon today. And it's not very safe neither. But back in that day, everybody did stuff like that. So, but don't go around railroad tracks is what I'm saying today, kids. Okay, that's a bad idea. But all in all, this is a awesome little stop right here, right outside of Winnsboro. And a little backstory about the Hampton and Branchville number 44 is this thing was built January of 1927. And it spent its whole entire career right here in South Carolina until it was retired in 1959. So just in case you wanted to know a little bit of history about it, there you go. Very epic locomotive. So right here on the other side of the Hampton Branchville number 44 is this like cargo or passenger train. Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Yeah, me and my wife got to go see that several years, maybe 10 years ago. It's been a while. I don't even know if they're still traveling, but maybe this used to be their cart. Their how they used to get around back in the day. Right there, Ringling Brothers is a very worn out stamp or like some kind of a sticker or decal with the greatest show on earth is what that used to be. But kind of cool when I see this. I just wanted to document it and just show it. Pretty neat. Ringling Brothers, greatest show on earth. Okay, so I had to stop momentarily to show you this abandoned building. And that's right, folks. If you guessed it, this used to be a Walmart. And that is when you know there's a lot of problems when a Walmart can't stay open, because they have a little bit of everything. But this indeed was a Walmart Supercenter here in Winnsboro, and it closed at 7 p.m. for the final time on Thursday, January 28, 2016. That was like 9 years ago. And I found another article online that indicates that it made an announcement it was going to close on January 23rd, 2016. So did this place actually do an announcement to close, and then 5 days later, all these people were just out of job? Is that how this happened? If you know anything about this, I would love to hear from you. Just put it in the comment section down below if you know anything about this Walmart closing and how it happened. Sometimes the internet, you can't believe everything it says. But obviously it did close at some point mid to late January 2016. Man, the wind is really picking up. You can see that plastic and that can cruising down Constitution Avenue here in downtown Winnsboro. Welcomes you. And right here we have this old Carolina Cleaners, as it states right there on the bricks. Also the sign to match. But man, look at this old place right across the road here. Now that is an awesome looking structure. and a creepy one at that. Yeah, I would have to say you wouldn't have to worry about me entering those gates right there. But that is impressive looking structure. Looks very creepy. I would imagine there's probably been a crow or two living up there in the very top, as some of the wood rot has taken place. Maybe some bats. I don't know what kind of crazy dwellers might take advantage of that, but it's for sale if you want it, supposedly. Right there, available for investment. Just in case you're an investment guy. I mean, it would make a great haunted house. It really would. I mean, you could probably just do it year round. Just don't paint it. Just leave the paint on it, which I would imagine that paint is probably not healthy. It might have some bad stuff in it. Lead, maybe. Who knows? A lot of peeling paint going on there, that's for sure. Very creepy. Look at that gate, man. Yeah. Okay, so as we walk through the downtown area here in Winnsboro, thought I'd give you a little bit of background. So some of the historic roots of the town is Winnsboro is one of South Carolina's oldest towns, officially incorporated in 1785, just after the American Revolution. And as far as the Revolutionary War ties go, the town served as British General Lord Cornwallis's headquarters for several months in 1780 during the Revolutionary War itself. Wow. Holy smokes. Yeah, something bad has happened here in town, that's for sure. Those guys are moving on. That scared me to death, man. It was quiet, and then all of a sudden, I just heard sirens blaring like crazy right down here at the town square. There's a cool mural over here of a train I want to go check out. But I want to continue giving you some more facts. And this right here is really a gemstone here in town. A corner piece, if you will. This clock tower right here. This is the Winnsboro clock tower that was built in 1833. And it is pretty awesome to see in person. This is really cool. And it is said that this is the oldest continuously running clock in the United States. That is impressive. It still chimes today from its spot above the old courthouse, which is this part right here below me. Okay, so they even have a little plaque up here in memory of the early citizens of Winnsboro whose civic spirit prompted them to erect this town clock in the year of our Lord, 1833. That is pretty nice. And this is an awesome clock tower. Very large too. I mean, when you get in town, you see this thing like a beacon showing you the center of the town itself. So this is a very cool looking town. Has a lot of neat history to it, Revolutionary War, etc. If you are a fan of the 1989 movie The Patriot, you might know that some of that was filmed here in the area, along with 1991's film Sleeping with the Enemy starring Julia Roberts. Now supposedly back in the day right here in the town square, they used to have a Confederate monument in the downtown area that was erected around 1901. It was moved in 1952 to help the flow of traffic when they kind of redid the roads down here. So the good news, they did not scrap the monument when they redid the center of town to help with traffic flow, because it used to just sit right there in the middle of the square and people drove around it. But they just moved it several blocks from here, and we would definitely go check it out before we leave town. So before we leave this area, I definitely want to show off this cool mural right here. It looks very aged and withered. And the horses especially look amazing because it almost looks real. It looks like they're coming out of the wall when you look at it. Just how the artist painted it, it just has this weird perspective of it's not flat. It almost looks three-dimensional, but as you walk over, you know it's not. It's not three-dimensional, but when you're here in person, I don't know how it's going to translate to video, but it did look very much like there was almost 3D coming out of the wall. My gosh, look at this storefront. It's all windows, or I don't know, got paper over them or something. You can't see inside, but look at that retro signage up there. That just screams 70s, 80s, doesn't it? Vicky's Hype Hair is what it's called. Now down here on this side of town, things look a little bit more abandoned. Like right across the way is another abandoned storefront. And this stuff down through here, maybe? Don't look like a whole lot's going on this side of the road. Okay, so right here is the Douglas building, which I think is a pretty interesting looking building. Just because it says Douglas building up there, it looks like it's got some kind of importance to it. Did a quick little search, and it says that this was just a two-story commercial structure located here on Northwest Congress Street, built in the early 20th century. It features a distinctive brick facade with large arch opening, characteristics of early 1900 commercial architecture. Now, some of the fun fact that goes along with this place, last year in 2024, the town of Winnsboro actually acquired the Douglas building as part of a deal for $275,000 in like a real estate package deal, aimed to revitalize the downtown area. All right, my friends, just spoke to a local, and we was talking about the old Confederate monument, and he gave me the scoop of actually where it is. It's back here off of Zion Street, he said. So I'm gonna go ahead and head back there before we wrap this video up, because even he was just talking about there's a lot of weather moving in this direction. So that's why it's so windy. As you can see, it was clear and sunny today when we started this vlog, but there is a lot of, oh man, the bell's ringing. Perfect timing. Did y'all hear it? Yeah, that's cool. Remember, this is the oldest continuous working like clock tower bell in the United States. There's all kinds of stuff hanging out here, that's for sure. Okay, I'm right here on the corner of Hudson and Zion Streets here in downtown Winnsboro. And right here is the Confederate monument that used to sit in the middle of town. It was erected in 1901, and it was moved in 1952 to help with the flow of traffic. And right here at the bottom, it actually tells you a little information about the monument itself. It says, erected to the memory of the Confederate dead of Fairfield County by the Ladies Memorial Association. That is pretty awesome. And I really couldn't find any information about who was the soldier. It just says a Confederate soldier standing tall with his rifle. And that's exactly what it is. All right, my friends, that is going to pretty much do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this look at some of the small towns here in the central part of South Carolina, just north of Columbia, maybe about 25 miles to the north, give or take. Off of Interstate 77, kind of tucked away, Ridgeway, South Carolina, along with Winnsboro. A lot of cool history, a lot of neat stuff to look at. I like checking in and just checking out some of these small communities that you normally wouldn't see during your travels. Taking an extra moment to kind of get off the interstate and have enough time. Not everybody does, but I make time to do stuff like this. So hope you enjoyed the vlog. Hope you learned a little bit. I know I did. Until next time, my friends, I am the Hitchhiking Yeti, and I will see you in my next adventure. Y'all stay safe, and I hope to see you all again soon. It's getting dark out here. I don't need shades, that's for sure, but I'm going to keep rocking them. I love my Schwoods, you know. I've had these things since my channel started, and they're still excellent sunglasses.